Tampa, Florida, the fall of 2017. A once vibrant community is paralyzed by fear. 4 innocent lives have been brutally taken in a matter of weeks, just a mile apart. The Seminole Heights killer stalks the streets, leaving a crimson trail and unanswered questions. Police are desperate for a break in the case. The city teeters on the brink of chaos, and residents live in constant fear of becoming the next victim. But in a dimly lit interrogation room, the silence is about to be shattered. Howell Donaldson III, an unassuming college student, sits across from seasoned detectives, his fate hanging in the balance. A man no one could believe was behind these senseless deaths. This is the chilling interrogation that brought a monster to his knees, and justice for the loved ones left behind. Prepare to witness the unraveling of a killer's facade and the shocking revelations that sent shockwaves through a city. Viewer discretion is advised. This video contains sensitive content related to a real-life crime and may not be suitable for all audiences. This video features original police interrogation footage and evidence, much of which is being shown for the first time. All details are the expressed views of the writer and are alleged unless otherwise stated. Whispers of a chilling revelation linger in the wake of Howell Donaldson III's arrest. Handwritten notes, left like cryptic breadcrumbs at some of the crime scenes, hinted at a twisted sense of morality, a self-proclaimed arbiter of sin, chastising the very people he victimized. From a man who wielded violence without hesitation, these letters raise unsettling questions. Raised in a devout Christian family, where does Donaldson fit in this moral landscape? Did he somehow lose his faith, or did he ever have the coveted shield that so many embrace? Even more haunting, his mother, a faithful viewer of the news coverage, prayed for the victims' families, unaware that the monster she condemned was her own son. Never in a million years would she have imagined that the loving son that she nurtured could be capable of such heinous acts. The Seminole Heights killer's motives remain a chilling enigma, a puzzle piece lost in the abyss of his depravity and indiscriminate writings left behind.
It is November 28th, 2017. It's 4:30 p.m. We're here at the police headquarters. My name is Kenny Neitlinger, detective with Tampa Police. This is Detective Austin Hill, and we are here with, sir, if you state your name.
Howell Donaldson.
And your date of birth, Mr. Donaldson?
01/26/93.
And we were just talking before we went on record. I see you have a McDonald's name tag, Trey, T-R-A-I. You said that was a nickname because you're third generation.
Yes, yes.
And you might be using basketball reference to it as well.
Yes.
And just to satisfy my curiosity, so we said you played basketball for TC?
Yeah, I went to Tampa Catholic. Played ball for them in high school.
Are you playing now at St. John's? 'Cause you said you were...
Not anymore. I plan on going further with my basketball career.
At St. John's?
No, actually professionally.
Okay. Could I get enjoy the amateur European circuit? And
exactly.
Then okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a college basketball fan, so I'm curious now.
Okay.
Did you play at all at St. John's, or were you trying on at St. John's?
I played 2 years at St. John's.
Who'd you play for there? Was Lavin still there?
Lavin, when I came there, Lavin had prostate cancer, but he was the head coach at the time.
Okay.
The assistant coach did all the X's and O's. Mike Dunlap, he's the head coach at LMU right now, Loyola Marymount. Mm-hmm. And so he was the man.
Okay. Did he recruit? Is he the one that recruited you?
Yeah.
Not Dunlap, but I mean Lavin.
Yeah.
Okay.
I walked on, but I got friends that went to St. John's that told me to go to St. John's.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
So you're like an invitation to walk on.
Right.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I gotta know because I mean Lavin. Is he the real deal? Is he Lavin? Is he? I mean, I know he experienced some illness when you were there, but I mean, is that a real deal program? Those guys
it is.
On the up and up.
It's definitely a real deal program now that Mullen's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that did Chris Mullins go over for Lavin?
Yeah.
Okay. Mullins used to play there, didn't he?
Yeah. Mullen was he played there.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So what do you make of all the stuff that's going on now with some of the Lavin's cronies? Do you think that, is there another side to college basketball that the public doesn't see? I mean, you would have the inside information.
Absolutely.
Now, keep in mind, none of this is going to be used for any federal
Yeah, absolutely.
In the interrogation room, the air crackles with tension. The detectives, masters of their craft, engage him in casual conversation. The topic, basketball. a shared passion, a common ground, a calculated ploy to disarm and distract. Donaldson relaxes into the familiar rhythm of hoops talk as the detectives lay the groundwork for their next move. The trap is set. The clock is ticking.
We'll talk about, what brought us here today. All right, like I said, there is a lot of concern in general public for safety when it comes to firearms.
Right.
Any type of firearms introduced in the equation, regardless of what the equation is, especially a public place like a restaurant, it makes people very, very nervous.
Right.
And it elicits a huge response, obviously, from law enforcement when you're dealing with the unknown involving a firearm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we got involved in this because of that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What I would ultimately like to know is that, as far as you're concerned, is that firearm is that a legitimate purchase? Can that come back to something somewhere else?
Completely legitimate.
A pawn shop, gun store?
Oh no! I went to the gun store to purchase the gun.
Okay, you bought it. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a concealed weapons permit?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Are you working toward it? Your plans?
Yeah, I am. Uh-huh.
I know New York has different rules when it comes to firearms, regardless of all that. But I don't know. Did you plan on taking it with you?
Well, no, I didn't plan on taking it with me until I figured out, like you said, the laws and things like that.
Okay.
So,
walk me through then. So I understand. Explain to me what happened. How did it ended up in McDonald's where it is now? What was the whole plan?
Like I said, I was going back to St. John's,
mm-hmm.
and I didn't want the firearm to be in my home with my little brother.
Okay.
Accidents happen.
Okay, sure.
And I know he likes to, just start searching for stuff. I can put it in a good place, but it's not good enough for him. He's older now. Mm-hmm. It's not like he's 8 or 7 anymore.
Okay.
So I wanted to move it, and I wanted to, give it to someone to put it away.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. And this someone was.
She was.
Yeah, the woman at the McDonald's. She's a manager?
Yeah, she is. She's
Delonda?
Yeah.
Huh? Miss Walker.
Miss Walker.
How long have you known her?
I've known her since September.
Okay, so you didn't know her going in?
No, but she seemed to be a very stand-up lady. Okay. And just got a good feel about her.
Okay. So explain to me how it came to be that what prompted you to decide to bring it to her?
Well, she's my supervisor.
Okay.
So, since I've been there, she has instilled in me, good and positive things.
Okay.
So I just felt like, okay, she's a good person, she's a safe person I can bring it to, and that's just how I came about it.
Do you keep it? Do you have like a locker at McDonald's? Do you keep it in there normally, or do you keep it to and from your place in town and country?
Yeah. I don't even bring it. So
where do you usually keep it?
I usually keep it in my car.
In your car?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2-3 moves away, I've got the protocol and whatnot like that.
So you're talking about to get to it in the car.
Yeah.
Explain to me, how do you normally keep it locked up in your car?
Just in the trunk.
You just put it in the trunk.
Yeah.
Okay. You keep it in the bag, in a holster, or how
I can just keep it in my bag.
It was in somebody said it was a salad bag. Did you put it in the salad bag?
Yeah, I put it in a brown bag, and yeah.
Okay, all right. Is that did you bring it in the brown bag, and then when you got in the restaurant, put it in the salad bag? You already have a salad bag, extra salad bags from working in the car.
Salad bag, yeah.
Which one? Do you have salad bags already out there?
Yeah, it was a salad bag. I put it in the brown bag first, and then I put it in another bag, and then I put it in the salad bag.
Okay. Which brings me to a bag. Did you have another bag with you?
Another bag with me?
Like a backpack?
Yeah, I did.
What does that look like?
It's a Nike bag.
Okay, it's not a New York Yankees?
No.
Okay, the manager was asking about a New York Yankees bag in her office. No one can account for, so that doesn't belong to you.
No.
Okay, all right. So you brought that into the. When did you bring that into her? Was that in between Amscott and?
Yeah, in between Amscott, because I was supposed to. I went to Amscott. Before I went to Amscott, I brought it to her, and then I went to Amscott and came back, and that's when everything happened.
Okay.
So the reason why you brought it to her right then, what was the reason that you brought it at that point in time before you went to Amscott as opposed to after you got back? Is there any Any reason behind that?
No particular reason.
What was she supposed to do with it? Like, because she was unaware. Like she said, I don't know what.
Right.
Were you going to tell her what to do with it? Get rid of it?
What? Initially, I just said, I have something for you. I just want you to put it away.
Right.
I'm going to go to MSCOT and do what I need to do. When I got back, then I was going to proceed to tell her the steps to take to what to do.
Right. What did you want her to store it or to get rid of it?
Yeah, I wanted her just to store it because I did purchase the gun with my hard working money.
Right.
Yeah.
So
how long did you purchase the gun?
No, I purchased. It's just. September.
So shortly after you started working there, or before you worked?
Shortly after I started working there.
Okay.
Shortly after.
Where'd you buy it from? Maybe he already asked that. Where'd you get that?
No, he has not. I bought
He's
it.
a gun guy, so I defer to him.
I bought it from the gun shop on Gun. I'm sorry, not on Gun, on Fletcher.
Okay. The big one.
The big one.
Shoes World.
Shoes World.
Okay. Was it brand new or was it a used gun?
It was a used gun.
Okay. Is it? Do you know what generation it is? I don't know if you know.
3.
Okay. Are you a gun guy too?
Somewhat.
Have you shot? This isn't your first gun. Have you shot before?
It is my first gun.
It is. Oh, okay. All right. Have you shot other guns other people have had before?
No.
No. This is your first ever. Mm-hmm. Have you put a lot of rounds through this one?
No, not really.
He's like I said, he's a pistol champ. I can shoot well enough to hold my own. But where do you fall on it? Do you have any formal training anywhere? Were you in the military?
No.
Okay. Any formal law enforcement? I know it sounds like just college throughout, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, but have you put a bunch of rounds through that in practice since you've gotten it?
No practice, just couple trips to the gun store, and shoot.
Which model is it? Because I haven't even seen it.
It's
22, 23?
It's a Glock 27.
27, so it's a little compact one?
Compact.
Yeah.
Is this a serial killer?
This particular situation actually meets the general definition of a serial killer, because we've got an individual that's acting alone. It's been killing more than 2 individuals, usually in separate locations, isolated from each other typically. And then there's a cooling off period at times, in which we experience here as well.
And when we look at this, we have 4 victims in less than 5 weeks. There was a space again until the most recent victim on November 14th, all in southeast Seminole Heights. TPD has said they believe that this person lives in this neighborhood, but you say maybe not.
Well, they're correct in the sense, statistically, someone who does something like this, a serial killer, will actually live within 1 to 2 miles from the location of the crimes. However, now given the state of affairs and how transient our society is, what we're looking at is potentially someone who is actually not a static resident, but one that's transient. Somebody who is familiar with the area, maybe grew up there, has family members, a girlfriend, some association where he can actually hide out in that particular location.
The interrogation room is a battleground of unspoken truths. And as Donaldson sits, seemingly composed, detectives lay out their opening gambit, broaching the subject of the rather unusual incident at his workplace, the McDonald's, just east of downtown Tampa. The lead detective begins, his voice steady, his eyes piercing, a loaded gun, handed off in a McDonald's bag. They continue. Your manager was understandably concerned and brought it to the attention of an officer who happened to be in the lobby finishing up some paperwork and having lunch. Donaldson shifts in his seat, a flicker of unease crossing his face. The detectives press on, their words carefully chosen, their trap meticulously set. Now, possessing a firearm isn't necessarily a crime in itself, the detective continues. But we're curious, when did you purchase this gun, and where? Donaldson hesitates. I think it was sometime in September, he stammers, his voice betraying his nerves. The detectives have their timeline. They know the first victim, Benjamin Mitchell, was tragically executed on October 9th. If Donaldson bought the gun in October, just days before the shootings began, it's a bombshell, a direct link, a smoking gun. You will find out that the gun wasn't purchased in September, as Donaldson claims. It was precisely October 3rd, 2017. The room crackles with unspoken tension. The detectives have their prey cornered, but Donaldson remains an enigma. The truth, it seems, is still lurking beneath the surface, waiting to be unearthed.
you were, having some difficulty, and probably the parents thing, as I'm assuming, and thought maybe you recently have a death in the family?
A death in the family?
Did you have a death in the family recently?
No.
Okay, so maybe that was who knows what kind of talk was there. But everybody's talking, putting these together, like, man, why would he have a gun? And, it's not his, and he seems a little distraught. I think concerned maybe for your well-being ultimately. And then, what did he just hand me? Why didn't he tell me that?
Right.
Now, if you had said, hey, I'm about to get on a plane and I got a 12-year-old brother, that makes perfect sense, right? And maybe she wouldn't have freaked out. But
I got a gun in the car. I can't take you to the airport. Would you mind holding on to it for me? And then she could just make the decision. At that point, it probably would have been like, no, I don't feel comfortable with that. Okay, well, or
exactly.
no problem.
And that's why I didn't want to tell her initially until I got back.
You're afraid she'd be nervous?
Exactly. Which, I didn't want her to freak out or anything like that.
Did you ask her not to look in the bag?
I did. I just said, you don't even have to look at it. And then, like she said, before she can ask me, I was probably out the door.
Okay.
Was there anything else in the bag or just the gun?
Just the gun.
Inside the other bag?
Yeah.
Was it loaded?
Was it loaded? It was loaded.
Okay. I'm saying is that, I just can't imagine that you tell her not to look into it. What is she going to do? She's curious as to what the heck is it giving me.
It wasn't
human nature
like that. It was loaded.
Okay.
Just 5 bullets.
No, okay. But it obviously, it caused alarm and nerves.
I know it did.
Other than the range, have you or anyone else that you know of fired that gun anywhere?
No.
Okay. And the reason I ask this is because we'd like to, anytime we come across a firearm, we'd like to make sure it wasn't previously used in any kind of wrongdoing. All right. So with that being said, do we have your consent to fire that gun, to test fire it, in order to make sure it wasn't traced back to something that was inappropriate?
Yes.
Is that okay if we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. For that, I'm gonna fill out a form here. I'll try to find a form because but as far as you purchased it legally from the store. Out of the store, it hasn't been out of your control.
No.
Okay, so no chance some buddy of yours went and, hey, I'm borrowed to go shoot, came back with it hours later and said, hey, and then went up and stuck up a liquor store or something like that.
Not at all.
Okay, all right. You can attest.
I can attest.
You've been in control of that gun.
Yeah.
As safely as you can make it, with your familiarity with all that.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I do is, once again, maybe we test fire that gun to ensure that it hasn't been fired anywhere else.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right, let me. We got a multi-purpose form here, so I'm trying to find something that applies in this particular case.
I've got to imagine that's got to be the closest.
It's the closest one.
Yep.
So come here. You good? You want something? Need something? Or you good for now? While we're chatting? Okay. It says consent to search warrant, waiver of search warrant. There is no real consent that we have that applies to test firing a gun. Okay. Most of the time we recover it and you get a criminal matter and it's therefore open for us to test fire. In this particular case, we expect this to be cleared up. You can go on your way anytime you'd like and we'll be able to return this gun to you. And because it's your gun, you bought it. Like you said, with hard-earned money. Last thing we want to do is keep a gun from you. But at the same time, we want to make sure that when you walk away, you know that, hey, that gun's cool, right? It's safe. No, it's not going to be.
You also bought it used,
right?
Make sure.
That's why I'm saying it. Yeah, right. So that God help you,
knows who used
right before you, and we keep that stuff in a database. So then you can comfortably know that. All right, not only did I buy it legally, but then it's been traced by the cops, and there's no wrongdoing attached to this gun, so I can go forward and be comfortable that as long as I keep this out of the wrong hands, and as long as I do all the right stuff with it, that gun's good. Okay. So I'm going to check this block, and I'm going to alter it just to the language. I'm going to do that in front of you. But it says it's a consent to search warrant. What is consent to? I'm going to blind do that right there and just write in this line. Test fire firearm. Okay. In this particular case, help me out there again, guys. It's a Glock.
27.
Glock. 27. Now we don't know the serial number on it, I'm sure, unless you know it, unless you're that guy. No.
I'd be impressed by that.
It's located at right now. Where was the last time? Well, you handed it to Miss Walker, right? Do you know what she did with it?
I'm not sure. I mean, I hope she still has it.
No, she definitely still has it. But do you know where was it that you handed it over to her? Was it out on the floor or in the lobby, or was it?
No, I definitely wouldn't do that. Just kept it professional. We went to the back. I told her I just needed you to hold on something until I got back, and I handed it to her.
The bag?
Yeah.
Okay. And we said handed it was in the bag?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What with that office? Is that a manager's office? Is that like an employee break room? What is that back there?
That is a manager's office in the back.
Do employees have access to that office, or is that specifically for it's kind of for anybody to go and get off the floor when they're having a break or something?
Right.
Okay. It's not locked up. It's not a secure...
No.
Okay. So what would you call it, the manager's office?
Mm-hmm.
So when you bought the gun, did they sell you one box of ammo?
They did.
Just one?
Just one.
Just initial next to me there.
Did you take it to their range to test fire it?
Thanks.
Did you test fire it at their range? Is there a range there?
No. I didn't, no.
Where'd you go to shoot it?
I just shot it outside.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what that's.
Shot it outside?
Yeah.
At the range?
No, not at the range.
Oh, where did you fire it at?
Up the street somewhere. It wasn't much. Just one shot.
One shot, like hit the ground or something?
Yeah.
You said there were 5 bullets in it?
Right now there is.
Okay. Is that in the magazine, like 4 in the magazine, 1 in the chamber, or are they all in the magazine?
No, they're all in the magazine.
Nothing in the chamber?
Nothing in the chamber.
Okay. Is the rest of the ammunition in the box still?
No ammunition in the box.
Okay. Do you have the ammo box, like in the car? Did you keep it? Got rid of it? Okay.
Yeah.
So as far as all the ammunition you have to that gun is just the 5 that are still intended?
Excuse me?
The 5 that are in it right now, that's all you have left of all the ammo you purchased with that gun?
That's correct.
Okay. You test fired all the rest, or test fired, I mean, you practice with all the rest of it?
Yeah.
Okay, haven't purchased any more since then? Was it 1 box?
1 box.
Okay. All right. Do you have a driver's license? Did somebody get that from you? Or?
Yeah, I don't have anything on me that I had.
Is it still in your car, or did somebody take it? Did an officer take it from you?
Yeah, officer had it.
Do you have a wallet or something on you?
Yeah, I had the wallet.
It's
I had
standard, and we'll...
Okay, but I want to make sure that you have that, because if you do decide, if anytime you want to get up and out of here, I'm sure you would like to have your belongings with it as well. Where do you, did the officers come up with it, do you know, or did they?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure who
Let me find out from you, man, if you don't mind.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, just talking about that before.
Mm-hmm. So what do you guys carry?
We carry 6. So
I saw that.
6 hours. Yeah,
are those the best?
They're not my favorite. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest with you. I think for a police officer, I don't think you can do better than a Glock.
Right.
You can spend more money if you want, but I don't think you can get better gun.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of the way I look at it. Now I carry what they gave me.
Mm-hmm.
I can go buy a Glock that's one of the approved guns.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done it because I haven't had any problems with this one.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not,
Right.
it's all right. But I don't think it's worth the extra money you spend on it.
Okay.
Glocks are very simple guns, so they always function.
Basic.
And, 34 parts, I think, is in a Glock.
Mm-hmm.
The SIG that we carry is like 50-something.
With a stroke of a pen, Donaldson unknowingly seals his fate. A consented search warrant grants access to his firearm, a seemingly innocuous move that sends the weapon straight into the hands of the FDLE lab for testing. A chilling twist in this deadly game of cat and mouse. The hunter has become the hunted. Is Donaldson's compliance a calculated move, born from a twisted narcissism that believes he's outsmarted the seasoned detectives? Has his reign of terror, leaving 4 innocent lives extinguished and investigators grasping at straws, fueled a delusional confidence? Does he envision this interrogation as his final, victorious checkmate? Or perhaps, in a haunting turn, this is the monster's desperate attempt at self-preservation, a subconscious plea to silence the inner demons that possess him, demons he knows will continue their reign of terror if the gun remains within his grasp. The detectives, veterans of countless interrogations, aren't fooled. They recognize the facade, the subtle cracks in Donaldson's composure. This isn't a game to them. It's a pursuit of justice for the victims and a city gripped by fear.
With the gun, obviously, you said the ammunition. There's no more ammunition. Okay, your car is at the McDonald's right now. We would like your permission, again, with your permission, to search that vehicle for any remnants of any other firearm or bullets.
Okay.
Okay. But again, may we have your consent to search your car? Is there anything in there that's going to get you in trouble? It's going to be, volunteer that now, because we're only looking for specific things.
Nothing.
Okay. Can we have your consent to search your car for firearm evidence or any other inappropriate evidence that we might come across linking you to any crime. There's not any of that in there, is there?
No.
Okay. With that being said, may we have consent to search your car?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this form is specifically for that, so I don't have to cross through anything. All right. It's the same thing. I'm just not going to be, lining through all this stuff. All right. What kind of car do you have?
It's a Ford Mustang GT 95.
1995.
Mm-hmm.
Ford Mustang GT. You don't happen to know the tag number, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay. And that's located at the McDonald's.
It is.
And maybe be specific. Where did you sleep last night?
Last night, where did I sleep?
Did you sleep at home or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
Where did you sleep?
I slept at a La Quinta.
Okay. Was that a room that you got by yourself, or did you have someone that was stick at the room that you were staying with? Okay. Where was that La Quinta at?
Located not too far from the airport.
Okay. Because I still not. Let me finish up this so I'm not distracting you. Again, this is saying that we hereby volunteer full consent to search your 1995 Ford Mustang GT, which is located currently at the McDonald's. And you can read through all of that, but all this applies to what I'm asking you now. If you agree to all of that, and give us consent to search card, just initial there, print, sign again, please. But if you'd like to read through it, read through it. Nothing in that call we need to be concerned about as far as safety, right? You don't have anything rigged in there to do, some crazy anti-theft device that we need to be aware of. So when the officer puts his hand down, it's like a mousetrap, snaps his fingers in.
Not at all.
Okay, all right.
Is it 95 or 2005?
95.
It's still 5.0 back then?
It is. Mm-hmm.
Just so you know, I'm doing exactly what I did on the other one, just filling at the bottom of this. All right. The reason is the manager also mentioned that, or I think it was the manager, asked if you had asked her to sleep in the McDonald's. Is that accurate or no? She misunderstanding. Did you ask to stay in the McDonald's lobby overnight at some point?
I did.
Okay. Is that because do you not want to go home for some reason?
No, I mean it's just it's just time for me to get my own place and do my own thing.
Okay.
It's nothing.
How long have you been away from home where you haven't gone back? How long has it been? A day, 2 days, a week?
Yeah, just a day since I.
So the La Quinta, and then the night before that you were at home?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, La Quinta gets expensive, so.
Right.
Okay. All right, so you haven't been out on your own or homeless, so to speak, for too long. It's only been about a night?
Yeah.
Okay, before that, every night you come home back and forth in your Ford Mustang to your town and country home where your folks are?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any family or friends up around Hillsborough Avenue, Nebraska area? 15th, Nebraska, you familiar with that area?
15th in Nebraska.
Or 15th in Hillsborough, Nebraska? No family up there at all, no girlfriends, nobody that... there's McDonald's up there. You haven't been back and forth to any McDonald's up there, have you?
No.
For any reason?
No.
Okay. I mean, from what I've heard, Plant, Tampa Catholic, Town and Country, Alonzo. Did you grow up in Tampa? You did, right? You say you grew up in Tampa. Mm-hmm. Did you at one point have friends or anybody over there in that area that would lead you to hang out or visit anybody over in that area?
Not at all.
Okay. All right. Your mom and dad, who would you, when we reach out to anybody to come get a car if we need to do it, I don't think that's going to be an issue. Like I said, I take you at your word. I assume there's nothing there. At the end of all this, and anytime, like I said, you're free to go. You can get up and leave and end all this conversation. I think we're getting to the crux of the issue. I think we're going to make sure everybody feels good about what's happening. Because I don't know if you noticed, there's a lot of people gathered around out there trying to be a busybody, and in the end, we want to make sure that we come back and say, like, Howell Donaldson is good, guys. Don't worry about it. It was a lot about nothing. So far, I think you've gone a long way to helping us out with that. I think the biggest hurdle is now make sure there's nothing that we get concerned about in your car. Make sure nothing we get concerned about with that gun. Mm-hmm. You've assured me there's not. That gun, you fired it once outside after you bought it, right?
Yeah.
And that was, you no chance that you hit anything.
Not at all.
Okay,
No.
all right. I mean, it didn't ricochet and put a car window out where
Not
somebody's
at
going
all.
to be. There's a report somewhere up there saying somebody shot out.
Do you
my
remember
car
where you
window.
were at when you just fired it?
Probably not too far from the gun store. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Then the rest of the shots you took were inside the range. Okay, and the rest of that box minus the 5 that you still have left in it.
Well,
Okay, all right.
What range did you go to?
It's at the gun store.
Which one?
Shooter's World.
Same one?
Mhm.
Oh, same place you bought the gun from.
Yeah.
Okay. First one of our guys bought pizza. Are you pizza? You want a pizza?
Yeah, I'll take some
You getting hungry?
Pepperoni or cheese?
pepperoni.
I mean, 'cause I don't want to encourage you to stay any longer than you want to, but I mean, if you stay long enough for a piece of pizza, you want a piece of pizza?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, the other thing was, do you have any illnesses at all?
No.
You know, allergic? I mean, God forbid I give you a slice of pizza and you have some lactose intolerance.
No.
Diabetes, nothing like that?
Nothing like that.
Okay, you're got a clean bill of health.
Yeah.
Okay, no injuries, no old injuries or something that's going to act up?
No.
Pepperoni?
No.
All right. You have pepperoni or cheese or one of each? Or?
I'll take 2 pepperonis.
2 pepperonis, you got it.
Thanks.
Awesome. I'm sorry, man.
I'm good, man.
You sure?
I'm good. So when you played ball up there, you said you walked on. So did they take care of your school? I mean, or did you have to take out student loans and stuff?
Well, yeah, I still took out some student loans.
Mhm.
Not many. My parents did. They assisted me with that.
Okay.
So they've been good with
That's
that.
good.
They put me through school pretty much.
Oh, that's good.
And so,
Out of state too, so I imagine that was a pretty penny.
yeah, exactly. So,
Because like you said, once you get out of it for any length of time, it's tough. You know, to get back, like you said, the mindset of doing the work and stuff that comes easy to you now. In a few years, you'll have lost the basics that you learned, and
You feel you back in New York with these slices, man.
right.
Is that too much? Is one good? Or
That's awesome. I actually eat one, and hopefully I can save the other for the airport.
I'm sure we could make some. Did you already buy a plane ticket?
I did not.
Okay, so you're not. There's no flight that you're. By any means, so you got to get out to a flight. Tell us. Can you want to put napkins underneath there? Is that enough? All right. Why the gun? Why the gun? Did you ask him that?
I mean,
Why are you sporting a gun, man? What's the sudden urge to carry a gun? So you never carried one around before? Why? Is there anybody threatening you? You feeling?
No, I just feel like, coming into a young man, I feel like, for protection.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, no obvious problems. No one's robbed you since you've been here. I mean, I know down in Ybor City area make you feel uncomfortable. Nothing like that. Nothing specific.
Nothing specific.
No ex-girlfriend's boyfriend making threats, something like that.
Not at all.
Or current girlfriend's ex-boyfriend, I guess is what. No.
No.
Okay. All right. You just felt it was a purchase time in your life. You're going to make this purchase and make this transition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and just to keep yourself safe.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. With that being said, I mean, are you paying attention to the news and what's going on in the community the last couple months?
Haven't.
Have not.
I really don't watch the news.
Okay. All right. Are you aware of the murder rate recently increasing in Tampa?
I've heard people talking about it, people at my job.
Yeah, well, tell me what you've heard. What are they talking about?
They're saying that people are dying. Something about a serial killer.
You've heard about that. You know anything else about that?
No.
Okay. You have no insight into what that's all about then?
No.
Okay. Because a tip would be great, man.
Yeah.
It's like $100,000 too. So for
$100,000.
$100,000.
it paid for the master's degree, no doubt about that.
Yeah, right. So if you know anybody
Wow.
about what they're talking about, and they got into specifics with you. Anybody at work made mention of maybe something that would strike you as interesting as far as they might know something? All right.
No.
Okay.
No. They just mentioned it, but.
Are they scared? I mean, is that why they're bringing it up? Or the women that work there? It seems like it's mostly women.
I don't think they're scared. I just think they just want to have something to talk about.
Okay. All right. But that didn't prompt you to buy the gun. You're not concerned about that.
No.
It doesn't sound like you know much about it.
No.
Okay. All right. So you bought the gun, and that was because of your own personal decision.
Personal decision.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Now you say no intentions on doing anything inappropriate with the gun.
Not at all.
You kind of like say you're struggling financially. What you're saying here is you're not contemplating
No.
doing anything irrational.
Not
to yourself or to try to rob anybody? You're nothing like that?
Not at all.
Okay.
No.
All right. That's what I'm sorry, man. Go ahead. We get some more napkins, man. You good with that water?
Can you grab me a water, Kenny?
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Man, it's happening to me now. I lost my train of thought. So you said you remember buying it in September at Shooter's World?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that was before any of this stuff popped up. So clearly you were buying it in a response to something that had happened.
No.
So the stuff that people have been talking about, word on the street type of stuff, any specifics at all?
No specifics. I just seem to be, them saying this and that, but I feel like it was almost to the point where I've heard it before. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it was any different.
What do you mean you heard it before? Like how long ago?
Like even like it just during high school, like, oh, it's a serial killer or something like that.
So just generic?
Yeah, just piece is excellent.
I gotta find out where it's from. And I might have to take my chances on maybe half a slice.
So what happens when you're gluten intolerant
and
you eat gluten?
So it basically all kinds of digestive problems because your body can't process it. It's the protein in wheat. That's what gluten is, or wheat and some other grains. But so it's just makes you feel sick. I mean, sick to your stomach and just not good.
Any rashes or anything?
No, I don't get that, but there are some people that have true celiac disease.
Donaldson, the picture of nonchalance, continues his performance. He waves off the searches as fruitless endeavors, a confident smirk playing on his lips. He even goes so far as to agree to allow police to search his car that is still parked at the McDonald's, and his cell phone, a treasure trove of personal data just waiting to be unlocked. A bold move, a calculated risk, or the desperate bluff of a cornered predator. Unbeknownst to Donaldson, his arrogance is his undoing. Each concession, each seemingly innocuous gesture tightens the noose around his neck. The detectives, masters of their craft, play along, their eyes gleaming with anticipation. They know the evidence hidden within his car and phone could shatter his carefully constructed facade. A digital map, a trail of breadcrumbs leading to the crime scenes, a chilling testament to his reign of terror. But for now, the game continues. The sociopathic charm, the carefully crafted lies, the unwavering denial, it's all part of Donaldson's twisted performance. He's not under arrest, they remind him, free to leave at any moment. Yet, he remains, drawn into their web, a moth to the flame of his own hubris. The detectives offer a peace offering, pizza, a customary gesture in the long dance of interrogation. They buy time, allowing the wheels of justice to turn in the background. The evidence mounts, the net closes in, and then the trap is sprung. A seemingly innocuous question. Are you familiar with Seminole Heights? Any chance your gun or phone might be connected to anything illegal there? Donaldson's answer, a swift, confident no, echoes in the room. But the detectives know better. The 1 mile radius, the digital footprints, the chilling coincidence, it's all too much to ignore.
Remind you of where we stand. It was 51 days yesterday since the murder of Benjamin Mitchell, who was 22 years old. 2 days later, after Benjamin Mitchell, we had Monica Hoffa. Monica was 32 years old. She was just walking along the streets, minding her own business. On October 19th, we had Anthony Naiboa, 20 years old. Anthony, unfortunately, caught the wrong bus and was just walking to catch another bus and was gunned down on the sidewalk. And then on November 14th, 26 days after Anthony Naiboa was murdered, we had 60-year-old Ronald Felton gunned down in the middle of the street. All 4 murders were ruthlessly committed. All 4 murders were related. There was no apparent motive. And last night, or yesterday afternoon, it was about 2:30 in the afternoon when Howell Donaldson showed up at the McDonald's where he worked and gave a bag to a coworker. The coworker opened the bag when Mr. Donaldson left and found the gun inside. Didn't think much of it, just thought it was strange that there was a gun in there, and gave the bag to a police officer who was in the McDonald's. That was the bit of information that we were looking for. That is what we needed. The police officer called our operations center, and we took up the investigation immediately from there. And so you wonder what the gun, yesterday when I talked, I said I was guarded and but yet optimistic. And you're probably wondering why. Because the gun is what we needed. The same gun was used in all 4 murders. That was the bit.
So you said you remember buying it in September at Shooter's World? Mm-hmm. Okay. And that was before any of this stuff popped up. So clearly you were buying it in a response to something that had happened. No. So the stuff that people have been talking about, word on the street type of stuff, any specifics at all?
But anytime we are investigating any kind of offense, especially involving I said an offense, but any kind of situation involves a firearm, okay? Mm-hmm. Because as I pointed out, you've not been charged with a crime. I mean, this is completely a consensual opportunity to talk to you about this, and I appreciate that. But with that being said, we want to make sure that there is, God forbid, we're wrong about you, mm-hmm. and you've been involved in something, or the gun comes back to something, we have to ask you more questions, mm-hmm. All right? A lot of what we do, a lot of nowadays has to do with phone stuff, mm-hmm. All right? Your phone would capture a lot of what you do in your daily life, mm-hmm. right? I imagine my phone does the same thing. Pictures, where I've been, who I've been with, okay? Stuff that might help you if something does arise in the future from any reason with a potential alibi if you need it, mm-hmm. Okay?
The interrogation room is a ticking time bomb. Donaldson, seemingly nonchalant, is their captive audience for now. But the detectives know this dance is precarious. He's not under arrest, and every second he spends here is a gamble. They need him talking, stalling, while the lab races against the clock. They play their hand carefully, feigning obliviousness. Have you heard about the uptick in crime? Some senseless shootings have everyone on edge. Donaldson shrugs, the picture of disinterest. Don't really follow the news, he mumbles. Just heard some chatter at work about a serial killer. The detectives knows that this is a lie straight from the pit of hell, and they also know that the truth cuts deeper. They have his co-workers' chilling confrontation, that Donaldson was even taunted at work about his resemblance to the shadowy figure haunting the news. Same height, same build, even the same gait. Is this the reason behind his sudden urge to flee? To vanish into the anonymity of New York City? The detectives tighten the screws, their questions circling closer to the heart of the matter. They paint a chilling portrait of the killer, a predator preying on the vulnerable, striking in the shadows of a familiar neighborhood, mirroring the patterns of infamous killers like Ted Bundy. Spree or serial, the label matters less than the urgency to stop the bloodshed. Every minute that ticks by is a high-stakes wager. Will the lab results arrive in time to expose Donaldson's lies? Can they dismantle his carefully constructed facade before he walks out the door, leaving them with nothing but a cold trail and a city still gripped by fear? One misstep, one hesitation, and their quarry could slip through their fingers, leaving a city forever scarred and justice agonizingly out of reach.
Good evening, Jen. In this quiet neighborhood off of Memorial Highway, neighbors woke up today in total disbelief that the young man who used to live in this home behind me and shoot hoops in the driveway is now the suspected Seminole Heights killer. News in the neighborhood spread quickly today that the young man who used to shoot hoops at this home and drive a red Mustang is now the suspected Seminole Heights killer.
It is very shocking and scary, you know. I just can't believe this.
Another neighbor remembers the boy they called Trey as a regular kid who'd come and go in his red Mustang. But does it add up for you that he could be this guy?
Absolutely not. Doesn't add up. Not at all.
The family used to attend Church Without Walls, where Trey's mother, Rosita, often organized charity events. Next-door neighbor Sylvia Fernandez asked us not to show her face, but she said the Donaldsons are the best neighbors she's ever had.
Well, my brain won't compute that their son could do anything like this because they're such a beautiful family.
Donaldson graduated from Alonzo High, attended St. John's University in New York, where he played basketball, and graduated last year with a degree in sports management. This year, he worked as a student support specialist for a few months at the Ultimate Medical Academy in Tampa, but lost his job in May when he stopped showing up every day for work.
He did pass our background check, but as I mentioned, he was terminated for absenteeism and worked here for a little more than 2 months.
If Howell Donaldson III had a reason for killing those 4 people in Seminole Heights, no one is more puzzled than the folks who knew him from this neighborhood where he grew up, especially the woman I just met a few moments ago who says she walked him to school for 5 years. She's totally blown away by this. Jen?
Yeah, so many unanswered questions tonight. Mark Douglas live in Tampa for us. Thank you.
Like this, you always seem to have your head screwed on tight, or?
Yeah, I mean, just want to be successful. That's all I want to do is just be successful.
No matter what it is, or?
No matter what it is.
Okay. And is success determined by, you talk about finance, is that finances?
Yeah.
Is that your idea of success? Is I gotta have a stable financial
I mean, the finances
foundation.
allow you to do what you want to do, and I just want to be happy.
You grown up? You didn't grow up in town and country, though, or did you? Is that where you got? Is that your family has been? Is that a house that's been there for? You guys been in that house for a long time?
Yeah, I've been in the house for a long time.
Okay, so
Can I ask you what time it is?
Yeah, absolutely. It's 6:40.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much longer will I be here?
I'll be fine out. I'm waiting on the phone. If you don't, yeah, no. Hey,
Okay.
as long as you want to be here, and when you're ready to go, I said we're just waiting on the phone. If you don't mind waiting until that's done, otherwise, then whatever you want to get out of here, man, that's your call.
Okay.
I just touched on it, so.
Okay.
Cool. See, it wasn't that long. Hey, take a look at the video for me, if you don't mind. We've asked everybody else. Might as well ask you. I know you said you've never been up in that particular area, 15th in Nebraska, or 15th in Hillsborough, Nebraska, and Osborne. None of that area is familiar to you at all. Any idea where the area I'm talking about?
Well, I mean, I know how to get around, but no.
But I mean, you don't have any reason to be up there. I know you said that earlier. Can I show you a video anyway? Just humor me on this. Have you seen? You say you don't watch the news, so maybe this is the first time you get a glimpse of this. So,
you pull it?
Yeah, please. Meanwhile, I think you'd be. I don't want to move your stuff here. Let's sit there. I'll tell you what here. Access. Let me get the internet access to you. Anybody say that they're from the area or live in the neighborhood where they think this guy might be doing his crimes? Anybody seem particularly fearful that they afraid to go home or afraid to leave their house at night?
Not from what I inspected, or not from what I saw.
No one's ever. Are you close to anybody in particular besides Ms. Walker?
At the job?
Yeah, that confides in you, or at the job, or
No, I just.
No, that says, hey, look, they shared with you maybe their concerns about all that's going on out there.
Not really. No.
Are you close to anybody at work, or is it just kind of like?
This is just a work thing.
Okay. Do you have any luck? Is connection all right?
Please correct error below. We can only accept that occur. I'm not sure. That's not work.
Oh, okay. So no problem with the connection. It's just more of the barrel for. Or?
No.
Okay. Any other neighborhoods you frequent in Tampa?
Any other neighbors I'm frequent with?
Neighborhoods besides Town and Country and Ybor City because of work? Any other neighborhoods that you frequent in Tampa that you have friends or girlfriends or anybody?
No.
No. Okay. So Town and Country to Ybor City and back.
Pretty much.
Okay. You don't recognize any of these people?
No.
That's a better picture of the first three. Anthony Naboa, Monica Hoffa, Benjamin Mitchell. Any of those names mean anything to you?
No.
Okay. And this is Ronald Feldman right here. No friend of the fan. None of those names. I think he played high school sports, but I think it was football. No?
I don't know.
Okay, no. The people I'm showing you were the three. The serial murders that your friends or coworkers were talking about, these people were the ones that were killed.
Oh.
So that's, but none of them ever crossed your path at work or anything like that. I'm sorry, man. What'd you find? What you got? Something tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow. I think I'm gonna do this one.
That's this Saturday. That's this weekend.
Oh wow.
Well, that's Wednesday right there. That's
210 though.
Yeah. Oh, I just wanted to point that out to you before you just know that's going to be Saturday. We find out about your car, huh? I was told the detectives found another Apple phone in your car in the search for it. Does that belong to you?
It does.
All right. Can we download that one as well?
Well, that one's old. That I haven't used that one in literally like 2 years.
Okay. Well, the question still stands. Can we download it, or would you object?
I'd rather not.
Don't. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you use that as an iPod or something? Like, is that what it's for music or?
Yeah, it's not. I don't even use that phone.
Okay. All right. I just got word that came across it, so I wanted to ask before. Like I said, take advantage of this. We don't have to bother you at any other time. Come, hey, we want to do this. We want to do that.
Okay.
All right.
So even though he's an Apple user, he says that you got a nice tablet. It's complimentary.
It's not mine. It's for the department. Otherwise, trust me. My wife would not let me buy anything that's not Apple.
Yeah.
This is the reason I carry. The reason I carry Apple is because my wife wants me to carry Apple.
Right.
We're investigating. The city of Tampa is investigating a serious matter going on right now. They said you talked about it at work, and people at work have mentioned it. Okay. Have you ever explored it? Have you ever looked into that stuff?
Yeah, looked into
the serial killer everybody's talking about. Have you looked into what's going on? Are you at least been curious as to what's going on?
Absolutely.
All right. Have you? But you said you were unfamiliar with what was going on.
Yeah. I mean, I to a certain extent. I mean, I don't indulge myself into, trying to worry about that.
No, I'm not saying worry about it, but I mean just out of curiosity's sake.
Absolutely.
Are you familiar at all with what's going on at all?
Yeah.
And what do you know about what's going on?
That there's a serial killer.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where or who's being targeted? Like you were talking about earlier about certain people being targeted for a certain reason.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it's some of it's sexual in nature. A lot of it can be sexual in nature. Some of it is for their own reasons that they have, which may be valid reasons to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, we'd like to explore that with the individual that's responsible.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, are you familiar at all about did you look into any of that as to what might be going on and why? Was you at least be curious about that?
Yeah, a little curious, but I don't know why.
Do you know what neighborhood the serial killer's operating in?
It says Seminole Heights.
Okay.
Who are they?
Yeah.
People at my job.
Okay, so you heard that much. Okay. I mean, earlier you seemed to be like, you had no idea what was up.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have some idea.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Tampa police believe the killings are linked, and while they have not called this the work of a serial killer, Fox, a former FBI agent, says, according to agency standards, anytime there are more than 2 murders, they approach it as the work of a serial murderer.
If you had to give us a basic profile, what could you say right now?
It would seem likely that it's a male offender.
But she's not ready to identify race. She thinks the killer is between 21 and 35 and either a former or current resident.
Seems like he's very comfortable with that, very familiar.
And likely not a person on police's radar.
It's very rare. Most serial killers don't have a long record of offending.
And Fox thinks he's angry.
He may have been laid off from work, had a girlfriend break up with him. And it's an anger towards society. It's an anger towards the world that has committed injustice.
They're going to get some notoriety out of this. There's going to be some celebrity, the talk shows, the movies of the week, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what's motivating? What is it? What would drive somebody to snuff out a human life so coldly and callously? But and it's despicable as it is. These people, you've seen it on the news. Well, you don't really watch the news, but I mean, when you do, it's all. That's probably why you don't watch the news.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I mean, who is this person capable of such a thing? All right? I mean, like I said, as I asked you, if you're capable, you don't think you are.
No.
Right? I'm not capable of something like that. I'm sure that he's not. All right? But
But I do believe that if something happens in somebody's life, that somebody who would not otherwise be capable of it could become capable of it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If there is something that occurs, sometimes things just cause you to go down a path that you didn't intend, and sometimes it's something traumatic, sometimes it's losing a job. So, you lose a job, you lose your house, your marriage falls apart, and all you end up going down this path that you never intended to go down.
Right.
Wasn't supposed to happen. But because of this event, there you go. You veered right off. You were on the highway, you veered right off, and now you've lost everything. I think that somebody that wouldn't normally be capable of it, if something terrible were to happen to them, something could drive them to do this.
So somebody in your life that you lost?
That close to me?
Yeah.
I mean, I just flushed it right now.
Okay. We'll talk it out, man. What do we flushed you for?
I don't know. I just want to go home.
Okay.
I've been here so long.
No, I understand. Okay. Well, before we go, let me read you one more thing. Okay. Because I want to be absolutely certain that you've been given an opportunity, like many have come before you. Okay. You said you've never been in trouble with the police before, right?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. You a big movie guy?
Somewhat.
You know what your Miranda rights are?
To a certain extent.
You ever had them read to you?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm going to read them to you now before I ask some final questions and we're done. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. You have the right to remain silent. You understand what that means?
Yes.
Okay. If you give up the right to remain silent, anything you say can be used against you in court. Do you understand that?
Okay.
You have the right to consult with an attorney before you make a statement or answer any question, and the right to have an attorney present during questioning. Do you understand that?
Okay.
If you want an attorney but cannot afford to hire an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you before and during questioning free of charge. Do you understand that?
Okay.
Okay, yes? Is that yes?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. If you don't understand, by all means, stop me and I'll explain it. Understand up to this point?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to use any of these rights at any time you want during the interview, and you may stop the interview at any time. Do you understand those rights that I've read them to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any questions about them? Okay. You're flustered right now. We're going to get the results back on that firearm, and we're going to know. But this is your opportunity to explain. If there's any chance that stuff's coming back, and it's going to point in a direction that is incredibly unfavorable to you, you have a chance to explain now, before we hit you with the, hey man, there's no other way.
It's scientific, okay? The firearms examination is scientific. It's definitive. It tells us, yes, this is the gun, or no, it's not.
But when that comes back, we're going to know. Do you owe those families an explanation? Do you owe these families an explanation?
We're going to know. The gun's going to come back. We're going to know.
Are you responsible for this?
No.
Like I said, now's your chance to offer an explanation to the families if you are. We're going to know the answer to that, but that's what I'm saying. Which is why I read you this, okay?
Trey, are the shell casings going to match? The shell casings that we have from these murders, are they going to match your gun?
No.
Yes or no? If they do match your gun, where do we go from there?
I'm not sure. I mean, they shouldn't match my gun.
Okay.
You didn't fire your gun at these people?
No.
You're missing 14 rounds, you're telling us. You test fired your gun, right? Somewhere, one shot. You bought a 20-round box of ammunition. You're missing 14 rounds, okay? You told us later that you went back to the range and shot those 14 rounds at the range when the first one you just fired off in the street somewhere. These people were all shot, okay? There's a reason why there was hysteria over your gun being found at your place of business.
You saw the video that we showed out there. I mean, it's not a far leap to think that maybe people think that's you in the video, is it?
No.
The right height, right?
Right build. Do you own clothing that looks like that? Maybe somebody's seen you in a hooded jacket or something?
Possibly.
Okay. So I mean, it's not a far leap for someone to be concerned, not specifically because we got a gun there, but because maybe, oh my God, you should all the talk, right? All the talk in the restaurant. I'm saying, as we sit here tonight, we're the only guys that are going to ask you for that explanation. We are the ones that speak back to the families and say, this is why. Because they're going to ask. It's the first question they're going to ask me.
I know.
All right, so If you're responsible for this, I ask that you provide him an explanation.
And tell us what it was. Or if it was nothing. If it was just life built up to a point that was so overwhelming. If it was some cumulative thing like that, as opposed to a single incident or a single person in your life. But it was something. And again, the firearms testing is scientific. It is definitive. It's not that maybe or maybe not.
It's not emotional. It's not going to explain anything. It's just going to tell us the fact.
And at the end of the day, your phone is in that area. We've explained that to you. You have a gun that is missing ammunition, right? That we can't quite account for. And we have 4 people that have been shot and killed. Okay? There are a lot of reasons why we are talking to you to try to get an explanation, because at this point
we speak for the dead.
Right.
And the facts are, this is what they are. They're the facts.
I understand.
The explanation comes from the person that's responsible, the person that has it in them to do something like that, because of maybe they can't explain it. Maybe there is no explanation. Maybe they say, I just don't know why I did that, and I wish I could stop, but I can't.
And honestly, somebody that leaves their gun behind is somebody that to me maybe wants to stop. To me maybe wants that intervention, that help. Like, I've got to separate myself from this.
To prevent that future loss.
I don't want this to happen again. And we know that this is emotionally driven. We know that it is just this built up, and if you can separate yourself from a gun and make people safe because you have done that, you've taken that proactive step to give your gun to somebody that you trust so that it's not in your hands.
That moment of clarity you had to say, you know what, I can't control myself, but maybe this person, if I don't have it.
To me, here's what that says to me, is the person that does that has a conscience. The person that does that does not really want this in their true mind, does not want this to happen again. Needs to give that away and separate and be done, and maybe even, man, I know you got to know when you hand somebody something, tell them not to look at it, they're going to look at it.
I understand. Okay? Can I just talk to my parents?
Your parents? Yeah, I mean, if your phone's not working though, right?
Yeah, I mean, am I going to be able to leave?
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Like I said, you want to leave, you can leave. But like I said, this is the one opportunity that we're giving. If you have anything to do with this, because we're going to know.
I know.
All right? And if that happens, you may not have the opportunity to say anything again to us, and we're the ones that communicate to the loved ones.
But if
it's heroic. If you're responsible, like he said, you turned over your gun to somebody else because you can't stop, and you know this moment of I'm thinking clearly, I'm going to do this. If you were doing this up to this point and you stopped yourself by doing that in this room, it's commendable. It's almost a heroic act. The families aren't going to see it that way because they're bitter and angry. Some might forgive, but I see it as, look, this guy took that step.
It's a sign of conscience, okay?
But not the monster that everybody is portraying him to be.
Exactly. Somebody with a conscience who makes a conscious decision to do that is somebody that also understands that these families are grieving, okay? And the person that has the conscience to separate themselves from that gun to try to prevent this from ever happening again is the same person that understands that those families are just hurting and wanting answers and wanting to know why.
Is that the person that sits before us today? Are you the person responsible for this, and then are the same person that's responsible for stopping this? Are you that person?
This is the confrontation. Hours have passed. The small talk, the basketball banter, the facade of casual curiosity, it all served a purpose. The detectives, masters of their craft, have patiently built their case, brick by brick, trapping their prey in a web of his own lies. Now, the moment of truth arrives. The photographs are laid out on the table, faces frozen in the final moments of their lives. The lead detective's voice cuts through the silence. Do you recognize any of these people? Donaldson's eyes flicker across the images, his composure unwavering. No, he replies, his voice flat, emotionless. You're aware of how they died. I heard something about a shooting. He shrugs, the lie hanging heavy in the air. The game has changed. The detectives lean forward, their eyes boring into Donaldson's. This is no longer about a gun in a McDonald's bag. It's about murder, about terror, about the lives shattered in Seminole Heights. The photos are presented again, a silent accusation. The detectives watch for any flicker of recognition, any crack in the carefully constructed mask. But Donaldson remains impassive, a chilling portrait of detachment. You said you didn't know about the shootings, the detective presses, his voice a low growl. Now you've heard about them from your co-workers. Which is it? The lie continues to hang in the air, exposed. Donaldson's facade crumbles, his silence deafening. The detectives have him. The carefully orchestrated rapport, the casual conversation, the feigned ignorance. It all served to lure him into a false sense of security, to expose the contradictions in his story. The room is charged with tension, the air thick with the weight of unspoken truths. The monster is cornered, his carefully crafted image shattered. The detectives, their patience rewarded, prepare for the final act. Will he confess, and will there be justice for the victims of Seminole Heights? And now, the dramatic conclusion.
Did your conscience drive you to leave your gun with Delonda?
Did my conscience?
Your conscience. Did your conscience drive you to take your gun out of your car, give it to her with the intention of, you've already told us, you wanted her to keep it, that you wanted her to, she's a responsible person that you trusted, and you wanted her to hold on to that gun. Was that something that was driven by your conscience to make sure that you did not have that gun in your possession? Is that what that act was? Yeah. Was it a conscience-driven act?
But for what reason?
So my brother wouldn't get it.
So your brother wouldn't get it?
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with this right here?
No.
All right. I guess we're going to find out shortly, and then we'll know. I mean, so we're going to know.
I know.
Okay. And are you concerned about what that's going to reveal?
To a certain extent, yes, sir.
Why would you be concerned about that?
Because you guys are saying that basically I've done this.
No. I'm asking you. No, the gun's going to tell us whether or not you did this. And we're going to know that. And the gun's either going to say, nah, he didn't, or yeah, he did.
Trey, listen, if it wasn't you, the gun results are going to be negative.
Yeah, they're going to say it wasn't you.
We've run other guns that are gun, comparisons that have been negative because we don't have the gun yet. Okay? But right now we're running your gun. If it's not you, then you have no reason to be concerned because the gun will be negative. I am telling you it's scientific.
It's science, yeah.
It is not a guess. It is not an estimate.
We're not involved in that process.
It is a scientific comparison.
With you. It's out of our hands with scientists.
Okay.
If it comes back and it is, then there is no other explanation for who did it other than it was you. And then only you can explain why. If the gun comes back and it wasn't you, or that gun's not going to come back and say it wasn't you because no, I didn't shoot these people. And as you pointed out earlier, you had the gun the entire time. No one else had access to that gun. No one else had that gun. So if that gun fired those bullets that killed these people, there's only one explanation, scientifically, as you pointed out, is that person was you that killed these people. If the bullets don't match, or if the casings don't match, then it wasn't your gun and it wasn't you. It's that simple. If you're concerned, that concerns me. Because you're saying, is there a possibility?
No.
I mean, you being up in that area, there's an explanation for that. The times these people were killed, you were up in that area. But you haven't told me as to why. Can you explain why?
Can you explain why you did a number of searches?
No, I just want to...
on the Seminole Heights case.
I just want to see my family right now.
All right. Let me call the state's attorney and then find out what we can do as far as that goes, okay? And then we'll...
Do I get to leave now?
Yeah, give me a sec. Give me 2 seconds. Sit tight for 2 seconds.
Just hang on for 1 second. He's going to call the state attorney and get their blessing on what's going to happen next, okay? I understand this is heavy, man. I get it.
So... he's going to come back, talk to the state attorney, and then I can leave?
He's going to find out the state attorney is the person that's going to make the decision of whether or not you're free to go. Okay.
Can I step out real quick?
For now, I need you to hang out right there, okay? There's a reason why you read your rights, because we're at a point in the investigation where we need to continue to look at a few things. It's going to be up to the state attorney to determine whether or not you need to stick around while we continue those things, okay?
Because when I initially came here, you said I'll be questioned, I'll be able to leave.
Absolutely, we did. And there was a point that we reached where this went from voluntary to you're not free to leave, which is why we read you your rights, okay? That's, we crossed that point, which is why we read you your rights. We're going to determine, the state attorney may say, yes, he's free to leave. He may say that we need to detain you until we continue some of the other avenues of the investigation, okay? The firearm results are pending, like I said, and they are conclusive. There's no false positive, there's no false negative. They're going to come back and tell us yes or no. So that may be what the state attorney determines. But Kenny's on the phone right now. Okay, he'll get that. They'll make that call. You all right?
All right. I just want to go home right now.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Are you 9 o'clock? You start working? 6 o'clock for me. Been a long day.
So was he going to get my phone? Or?
That's where he was at. I'm not sure. Listen to the message.
What time is it, by the way?
It is 8:09.
Yeah, that's fine. Bring him over. All right. Your phone is not going with you. There's evidence on that phone that is stuff we talked about.
Okay.
You're in the area of the murders at the time of the murders. Okay. I mean, I don't know the reason why, other than that's where you were. You can provide me no explanation. I've asked, and fair. There's no answer to that. The answer may be simple. Once the ballistic evidence comes back, which should be any minute now, and then it's going to be clear to everybody as to why. Okay, but that's where we are right now. All right, so we're gonna any second now you're gonna have an answer. I'm gonna have an answer.
So I don't get to leave?
Not yet. No. It's any second now. Let's come back. But
I explained to him. We've crossed the point. He's being detained. That's why he read his rights.
The ballistic evidence is going to. I read your rights. Right. Anything you say, you understand your rights. Any questions about your rights? You know that anything you say can't be used against you. Anything you have a right to a lawyer. You know all that stuff. Okay. If you don't, I will repeat it back to you. Okay. If you want to go over this stuff, but you understand your rights, and I'm not going to ask you to say anything you don't want to tell me. I've asked you. I've pled you on behalf of the families. If you are responsible for this, you know that you are. I imagine you have the opportunity to say something. I'm going to know factually in less than a few minutes from what I've been told. And if that comes back with a resounding no, then I'll shake your hand and I'm going to say, I'm sorry for wasting your time, and good luck in your endeavors. Okay? But this is my endeavor.
It's game over for Donaldson, and he knows it. The pieces are in place. 51 days of terror, 4 stolen lives, a community held hostage by a faceless predator. All of it ends here, in this stark interrogation room. Donaldson, the mask slipping, knows the jig is up. No more family dinners, no fresh start in New York City. He can't bring himself to utter the words, to confess the unspeakable acts that have stained his soul. But the detectives need no confession. The evidence is overwhelming. They've woven a web of truth around him, and he's tangled in its inescapable threads. The detectives, their faces etched with grim satisfaction, are mere moments away from delivering justice. Donaldson, his defiance fading, is a cornered animal, his options dwindling with every passing second. The endgame has begun. The hunter has become the hunted, and there's no escape from the reckoning that awaits.
It was wrong. It needs to stop. How do you put a stop to it? You hand over your gun and you give the police everything that they ask for to confirm that, yes, you got the right guy. And it needs to stop, and this is the only way it's going to stop. Yes or no? The only way that this can stop is no access to the gun, right? And in police custody, nobody else dies.
Okay, you understand your rights, right? I've explained them to you. You have no questions about them at all. You understand your rights to remain silent, your rights to an attorney. Do you want to review them again before I ask you any more questions? Do you understand them?
Yes,
I want to be clear about that.
Yes, sir.
Right? Because it's the gun. Okay? You murdered those people. The jacket that you were wearing on that video that shows you that you claim not to be able to identify, it's in your car. Okay? Your phone puts you right there at specific times. This is science, man. This isn't me making this shit up. This is science. This is technology, the stuff that you two know something about that I know nothing about. Okay?
Is that you?
But I gotta ask you, that's a rhetorical question. We know it's you.
Trey, look at, we've got a picture of your face in this video.
Mm-hmm. Trey,
do you see it?
For everybody that is listening, everybody that is going to want to hear the answer, more importantly, the 4 families, can you please tell us why?
What set this into motion? Like, what started this? How did this ball start rolling? To the point where...
You got my attention, man. You have the floor.
I just want to speak to my family.
I understand that, and you're right. You're going to be given that opportunity at some point. Right now, it's not that point. I can't offer that up.
I don't know.
But I mean, why?
I just don't know anything else to say. I just want to, I guess, talk to my attorney or talk to who I need to talk to.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I hope, man, listen, I hope we get an answer. All right? Because I'm telling you, it's the only question that they're going to have. The who we've answered for them. The why can only come from one person. It can't come from me. I can't even begin to guess. All right? And I'm going to keep working through this investigation, and maybe I'll come up with an answer. But right now, I don't have one, and they're going to want one. And I wish we could give them something. And I'm telling you, they're not going to think fondly of you, especially if you're not offering up an answer, but that's with you and your conscience.
Even in the face of concrete evidence, Donaldson, a master of deception, clings to his innocence. 4 innocent lives stolen in a senseless rampage. His silence echoes through the interrogation room, a haunting counterpoint to the detective's unwavering resolve. He requests an attorney, which ends any more quest to find out the why. His dreams of escaping to New York City have faded, replaced by the stark reality of his prison cell. It would take over 5 years before Donaldson would admit guilt. In May 2023, the weight of evidence crushes his defiance. Donaldson pleads guilty to 4 counts of capital murder, his silence a final, chilling admission of guilt. 4 consecutive life sentences, no chance of parole, the price for his reign of terror. The victims, 22-year-old Benjamin Mitchell, gunned down at a bus stop just a block away from home. 32-year-old Monica Hoffa, ambushed on her way to meet a friend. She never showed up. Her body was found the next morning by landscapers. 20-year-old autistic man Anthony Naiboa, only a year outside of being a teen, was tragically caught in the crosshairs of fear and was also gunned down as he walked from the bus stop after work. And 60-year-old Ronald Felton, a selfless volunteer, was taken down from behind while waiting for the food bank to open, where he served as a volunteer feeding needy families. The why behind Donaldson's heinous acts remains shrouded in darkness, locked away with him in the cold confines of Avon Park Correctional Institution. The Seminole Heights monster is behind bars, but the darkness lingers. In the shadows of the South, countless other secrets remain hidden, waiting to be unearthed. From forgotten cold cases to shocking unsolved mysteries, the truth is out there, buried beneath layers of deceit and time. And Southern Confidential, your real crime headquarters for the Southern United States, continues to dig, looking for the truth and justice for the victims. For more stories like these, don't forget to subscribe to Southern Confidential. And for the extra footage on the Seminole Heights tragedy, click the link below. And as always, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.